Well, welcome into the week 5 AL Recruiting Scoreboard show. We're just going to be talking about some games that we've been following on Twitter, watching. I've been watching some games tonight and just some things that have been happening. And I think, again, you kind of have to start looking and starting with uh, when you break this game down, looking at Mountain Brook and Thompson. Just wanting to see how Thompson just shows again that they have another shutout this season. They're playing Mount Brook, one of the top defenses um, in the state of Alabama, especially in 6A. And then you see that I think that final score in that game is 51-0. So Thompson has another dominant performance. Um, and you guys can post it in the chat. You can talk about this later, but I just don't see them getting beat this year. I don't see. I just don't know if anybody can beat Thompson this year. I don't know if they can. Um, if you think somebody can, post it in the chat. Let's see who you think it might be. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know about that. But if you were at a game, post the score up on the chat so we know what's going on. But that was kind of the first one I wanted to hit on. Want to look at one huge start this year, and we'll look at this final score just to make sure I post it up right. But James Clemens, I'm kind of waiting to see. Not on there. Let's see where it is. But James Clemens, I know they were winning the last time I checked. They're still up, and I think this game has gone to final. But what's impressive about them? Yeah, last thing I saw is, or I'm seeing on from Play Action Sports at PAS Network on Twitter, is James Clemens 55. Lee Huntsville is 14. That was in the fourth quarter. And I believe that that's going to put James Clemens at 6-0. They were 5-0 last week, and they had never started the season 5-0. They've never started a season 6-0. So you're talking about a team that, I mean, you go down the list of players that this team has had in the past years: LeBron Ray, Monty Rice. I mean, you just see they've had some major prospects on their team, and they've never been 5-0. They've definitely never been 6-0. And they're definitely taking a dominant place in that 7A Region 4. Kind of staying in that region. Another team, Bob Jones, traveled down to Auburn. Um, and I know Auburn was winning that game last time I checked, and they beat Bob Jones 42-21. Um, I think that shows where Auburn is as a program, but I also think that that shows where Bob Jones as a program is. For them to be able to keep a score like that, they got a great quarterback on their team. And so you just kind of see that as something where you're looking at a score like that. Auburn, Bob Jones travels that far of a game, plays number 2 team in 7A. Most people think Auburn's going to match up against Thompson in the state championship again. They think they're going to be the winners out of that. And then you have Bob Jones put up a pretty good performance for them. And so we're kind of watching that and seeing as that team continues to evolve as well. But like I said, if you're coming in, you just chiming in, just saw somebody pop in, post in the chat, tell us what game you were at, tell us what the score was, maybe who was a prospect that showed out. Do something and let us know so we can talk about them. But as I'm kind of looking and checking and get scores as they come in, Hoover beats Prattville 35-16. And so, you kind of keep that undefeated matchup. That's the two trains on a track traveling towards each other, Thompson and Hoover. A few years ago, it was Thompson trying to knock off Hoover, and now you have Hoover trying to knock off Thompson. Okay, let's see. Tanner Football is chiming in here. Here we go. Tanner beat Columbia. Wow. Tanner's 2A. Columbia is a 6A squad, and they beat them 41-8. 41-8, man. Congrats to the Rattlers. Y'all had it going at the Snake Pit tonight. I actually drove by on that road. I saw the lights on out there. I forgot who Tanner was playing tonight, but man, congratulations to the Rattlers. Big time win for them. And I think that program, you see where guys like has always produced players, Chadarius Townsend and those guys, a few years ago, and there are always players at Tanner. That's a great venue to go watch a ball game, and so I love going to Tanner, love being around there, and so congratulations to the Rattlers as they pulled out a win tonight. As we're checking that again, if you're just now chiming in, post some scores up, put them on the chat. We'd love to talk about them. Um, One game I was kind of checking out on, um, watching on my app, NFHS, I believe is that app, but we have Hartselle beat Russellville 58-21. That's a huge score. I think Hartsville's ranked number 5, Russellville ranked number 6. Big time score for Hartselle. Big win for the Tigers to see them take that win over Russellville. I think a lot of people thought that was going to be a little closer than it was, but Hartsville came away with a big win. One game I'm really watching, this one has not gone final, but Helena and McAdory, here we go. Helena and McAdory have gone to overtime. And we are checking this one, just kind of watching this one as it unfolds, but it is in overtime right now. As best as I can tell, it's still 35-35. They're already playing in overtime, so this is an exciting ball game. Um, let's see, another big one from OA News Preps. We have Dadeville beating Lafayette 15-12. Must have been a close ball game. Must have been a big one. Let's just keep going down the list. Valley Cubs, Alexandria. They defeat Cleburne County 38-14 in their homecoming. And Alexandria is going to be traveling to Hayden. But again, that is a big win. And Alexandria, they've had a few step backs in their program, but they're coming on strong, good again as a program. And it is great to see them kind of getting back into the mix of things. Let's just keep going down the list right here. Preps net. Let's see. Banks Academy, they defeat Southern Academy 34-19. We already said the Auburn Bob Jones game. Here we go. Let's keep heading down the list. Tabernacle beats Tuscaloosa Christian 44-42. Oh, Tanner football, you guys just posted it was homecoming. Hey, I'm going to tell you what, Tanner football, that's some guts to play a 6A team for your homecoming. That's a tough one right there. Russell County takes down Beauregard, kind of a county rival there in that area. Well, Beauregard's up in Lee County, but close by, close enough to be a big-time rivalry. They beat Beauregard 42-14. Central of Phoenix City beats Opelika 38-7. Final score from Atmore, Escambia Academy 21, Tuscaloosa Academy 6. Close ball game here. Really good players on the field. Chelsea takes down Pelham 31-28. This was one a little closer to where I'm at. Arab beats Brewer 49-13. Whitesburg Christian, they beat Shoals Christian 61-14. And that I saw that score, man. They were putting up some numbers early in the first quarter. Gardendale beat Shades Valley 33-0. Briarwood Christian takes down Mortimer Jordan 38-22. And that was a game with Christopher Vizina spinning the ball for Briarwood. He picked up an offer from Penn State today. I think that's his 16th offer so far. And so big time for him. to be putting up some kind of numbers like that. Uh, let's see. Sandrock, the Sandrock Wildcats, they take down Collinsville. They beat them 30 or no 28 to 7. 28 to 7. I know the Wildcats are having a big year this year. They're playing real good up there on the mountain, and hope they continue that success. That's kind of the area I grew up from, so it's good to see teams like that doing well. Um, Kind of keep going down the list. We talked about Thompson and Mountain Brook, but if you're just now tuning in, that one is 51 to 0, 51 to 0 on that one. Let's see if we got some more finals coming in now. Let's see here. We're going to keep checking them. Keep following along here. As I said, Hoover is now 6-0. Oh, this is a big win for them. Kind of get back on the winning track. Hewitt Trussville lost to Thompson last week. Now Hewitt Trussville, they beat Huffman 60 to 19. Andrew Bone is posting about Emmanuel Henderson at Andrew J. Bone on Twitter. Alabama commitment. Emmanuel Henderson had a big night. He rushed for 257 yards on 19 carries with 3 touchdowns. Geneva County fell to Geneva 26-25, and Emmanuel Henderson will be visiting Alabama for the Southern Miss ball game tomorrow night. He'll be making a visit there. Paul Bryant, they beat Central 31 to 7. Here's some scores right here where we kind of go pretty quick. Tuscaloosa Academy falls to Escambia Academy 21 to 6. Sidney Lanier beats Bessemer City 33 to 0. Dora beats Corner 42 to 14. Walter Welborn beats Hamilton 52 to 14. Briarwood over Mortimer Jordan 38-22. Chelsea beats Pelham 31-28. Gardendale beats Shades Valley 33 to nothing. Hale County takes down Sulligent 41 to 13, and Cleveland over JV Pennington with a score of 55 to nothing. A few more. We got Northridge. Let's see. They beat Gordo 24 to 21. Bryant beats Central 31 to 7. Fayette County takes down South Lamar 21 to 7. Pinson Valley, I don't think we've said them. They are, let's see, they beat Ramsey 17 to nothing. Hueytown takes down Athens 54 to 20. And Lamar County takes down Berry 24 to nothing. Andalusia gets Bibb County 25 to nothing. A couple more scores that I didn't post. Winfield over Brilliant 51 to nothing. And then last night, Gadsden City took down Oxford 17 to 9. That was a close ball game. And of course, you're just chiming in and just saw somebody pop in, post in the chat the game you were at, maybe the score, maybe who was a big performer in the game. Post that in the chat. We'd love to talk about those particular games as these scores are starting to come in. And we see that one. St. Luke's takes down Millward 24 to 17. I know that we kind of keep looking. I'm checking the score. I'm still kind of following this Helena McAdory game. Oh boy, here we go. Finally got a final on it. Huskies win 41 to 35. Helena beats McAdory. The Helena Huskies remain undefeated on the season. Congratulations to them, staying undefeated, staying unbeaten. And let me just say, Helena, Pelham, Alabaster, and that's Thompson High School. All 3 of those teams are having outstanding seasons. All 3 of those teams are less than a few miles apart. And they're all playing great football. And wow, congratulations to the Huskies. They take down McAdory and what must have been, I believe that was going to be a double overtime score. And so, What an unbelievable score. Again, if you're just now joining us, post in the chat maybe the game you were at, the score of the game, maybe something big that happened in the game. Let us know what that looks like tonight. Um, Selma beats Woodlawn 26-22. I'm just trying to go down the list right here. And here's some breaking news right here. Madison Academy's Deuce Spurlock. All right. He just posted 12 minutes ago as I'm reading it right now. He has just picked up an offer from the University of Auburn. He's a 2022 athlete. He's 6'5", 215 pounds. And boy, that is a big time offer for him to come in and get that. And so huge, huge news coming in, breaking as these scores are breaking, but recruiting never stops either. And so Deuce Spurlock picks up a big time offer tonight already. And Scott Forrester just posted a score. I just wanted to talk about. I know I've talked about him, but Thompson, so far to this point in the season, they have scored 310 points. Everybody else has only scored 12 points on them. Of course, those 12 points only came from Spain Park and Hewitt Trustful. That is absolutely incredible. Incredible what they're doing there. Scores keep coming in. As I stated earlier, Hartsville got a big win over Russellville, 58-21. Again, if you're just chiming in, let us know. Let us know what the score of the game you were at. Maybe something big that happened in that game. And so as we kind of keep looking through this and seeing some other scores as continue to come in, as we continue to scroll Twitter just a little bit and see what big scores are happening right now. I don't believe I've said this one. Jasper beats Demopolis 33-28. Here's some more. Baldwin County takes down Foley with a score of 49-28. And here we go. Let's see. Kind of keep looking through here. Southeastern beats Oak Grove 42-0. Russell County takes down Beauregard 42-14. I'm still looking for one that I'm interested in. Here's one that's a big one right here. This was a final. Douglas traveled to Glencoe, and they beat Glencoe 41-7. Here's another score I was definitely interested in knowing. We did an interview with him, Coach Jonathan Snyder at Ardmore High School in the state of Alabama. And check it out. I think it's our week 3 podcast, but our interview with Coach Snyder is a wonderful interview. I think if anybody's an aspiring coach, they need to go listen to that interview. But Ardmore beats Clements, which it's a kind of a cross county rival there. It's just the way that county's laid out, and Limestone County up here. The kids from Ardmore, the kids from Clements know each other. Then Ardmore gets a big win, 55-27. Ardmore moves to 5-0. I know they were 4-0, and they hadn't been 4-0 since 2013. And so 5-0. I don't know what that number goes back to, but huge win for Jonathan Snyder and Clements over Clements as he's continuing to lead Ardmore in the right direction. Again, so we kind of keep looking at some scores. Let's see. Any I haven't gone over. Handley beats Lynette 19-18. That is a close ball game there. Victory Christian takes down Fayetteville 21-10. Wadley beats Randolph County 56-30. So we kind of keep looking at through some of this, but man, what some good games we had watching this week. And I know that we have a lot of teams out there that are undefeated, a lot of teams playing well tonight. And man, it's just all over the board, just scores coming in. And let's see what would all we have any more that we haven't talked about. Maybe some big time performance coming in. Um, let's see. Trying to see if there's any more I haven't covered in. Um, I know when we look at Central score over Opelika, we see Caleb Nix. He's the brother of Bo Nix. They posted that threw for 3 touchdowns in that ball game. I saw one of those highlights. It was a great play by him, great throw. Um, we look at this ball game here. Let's see what happened with the Saraland game. That's one we want to check out. Saraland takes down Davidson 52-7. That's a big time win for them. Man, what a tough region they play in down there. And so that is a big win for them. Game we haven't seen. I wanted to see what the score would this one be. Leeds takes down West Morgan 37-13. Big win for Leeds. West Morgan's a tough team. They play tough. They play hard. They play physical. I know they got a brand new head coach this year. He was on the same staff with Jonathan Snyder when they were at Athens together under Cody Gross, and so they kind of carry that mantra of tough people win with them. And so some really good scores tonight. Really big performances, and we're going to be looking at some of those big time performances in our weekly podcast show. But maybe this is a way that we can kind of connect with people on a more of a live stream and live time in real time with everyone. And so just want to encourage you, let's maybe this may be something that we can be a part of every week. And I'm gonna post it one more time on Twitter, and see if we can get some people to join us on the show right now. Um, Doing our live stream. See if we can get anybody to come on the show with us and see where you guys are at. Of course, if you're watching right now, if you're chimed in, just let us know what game you were at. We want to hear about it. We want to see what was going on there. But uh, again, I just want to talk a little bit um, about last night. I watched the Gadsden City Oxford game. I'll be talking about it some on our podcast this week. But man, Gadsden City, Oxford, what a great game those two teams played. They put together a really strong performance. But and I think the announcers were spot on. Gadsden City's front four, they really dominated that game, and their defensive line. If you were going to give out an MVP of that game, their defensive line was the MVP of that game. They were the ones that really kind of took over that game, kept Oxford under control, were disruptive in the game, disruptive to the quarterback, disruptive to the running game, created turnovers, and really, in a tight game, helped Gaston City get the win. And so I really thought that they played a great game. Of course, that really helped them take that win as we've kind of gone through some of these scores tonight. But man, I think one of the more impressive jobs this season, um, like I've said, I think James Clemens being 6-0, Helena being undefeated, Ardmore being undefeated. You looked at the job that Thompson did, and going to play Mountain Brook, who was a team that was just a great defense, were able to put up 51 points. That can't be said enough how tough they're playing. Here we go. We've got a final score from uh, probably a battle on Sand Mountain that I'm just now seeing. Boaz beats Albertville 35-21. And let me just say, that's a huge game up on Sand Mountain. That's a big time rivalry. Those two teams are just a few miles apart. Again, they know each other. They're close to each other. And Boaz traveled to Albertville and got the win in their stadium, 35-21. That is a big win, especially in North Alabama, especially up on the mountain. That's a big one to get that win for them. And a homecoming game. Chickasaw beats Southern Choctaw 56-6. That's another big one. Um, you know, I think the one thing is, you have to say is like, look, every win is big, especially when you only have 10 games in a season. But Kyle Parmley at Kyle Parmley on Twitter, he posts some scores. I'm going to go run through them real quick. Maybe you've already heard them, but I'm going to just go over them again. Briarwood over Mortimer Jordan, 38-22. Chelsea over Pelham, 31-28. That was a close ball game there. Really good players on the field on both sides of the ball, on both teams. Hewitt Trustful over Huffman 60-19. Hoover takes down Prattville 35-16. Thompson beats Mountain Brook 51-0, and Pinson Valley beats Ramsey 17-0. And again, as I stated to kind of begin the show, we continue, fingers crossed, we get that undefeated matchup at the very end of the season of Thompson and Hoover. And so, that's something that we want to see happen. We want that undefeated matchup to come along to us. But again, if you're just joining us, post your score in the chat, post the game that you were at, post somebody who performed in a big, big way. And we'd love to hear from it. But let me just keep scrolling Twitter just a little bit as we kind of look through some of this. But yeah, I mean, probably when you start to look at some of the big, big games, watching Dadeville takes down Lafayette 15-12. I think still one of the biggest wins of the night. And unbelievable what the score is Hartselle beating Russellville 58-21. 58-21. Helena beating McAdory 41-35. That's a big one. I believe that was double overtime. I think that was a double overtime ball game. And that they posted in the chat. This is a huge win. Tanner's homecoming. They beat Columbia, a 6A school, 41-8. 41-8. But probably, one of the biggest breaking news of the night. We're just about less than 30 minutes from hearing this. Madison Academy's Duke Spurlock, 2022 athlete, receives an offer from Auburn University. And then earlier in the day, Christopher Vazina picked up an offer from Penn State. And he's a 2023 quarterback. That makes that his 16th offer of the year. And he is being picked up, and everybody's getting in on his recruitment. They're seeing the job he's doing at Briarwood. And look, I mean, he's at 16 offers now. I mean, he could easily have 30. He could be one of those guys that has 30 offers by the time end of his senior year in high school. And so that's the breaking recruiting news of the day. And what a late night offer. But congrats to Deuce Spurlock from Madison Academy picking up an offer from Auburn University. That's a big time for him to get that. And to get that news coming in for him. But let me just see if we can find go through some scores real quick and kind of give you a breakdown of some of the scores. Here we go, right here. We're going to run through some real quick. Northridge beats Gordo 24-21. Bryant beats Central 31-7. Fayette County takes down South Lamar 21-7. Thompson over Mountain Brook 51-0. Tabernacle beats Tuscaloosa Christian 44-42. Pinson Valley over Ramsey 17-0. Hueytown over Athens 54-20. Lamar County over Berry 24-0. Andalusia over Bibb County 25-0. Tuscaloosa Academy falls to Escambia Academy. That's by a score of 21-6. Sidney Lanier over Bessemer City 33-0. Dora beats Corner 42-14. Welborn over Hamilton 52-14. Briarwood over Mortimer Jordan 38-22. Pelham loses to Chelsea 31-28. Gardendale over Shades Valley 33-0. Hale County takes down Sulligent 41-13. And Cleveland over JB Pennington, 55-0. A lot of scores there. Let me pull up, see if I can't find some of these from uh, the Northeast Alabama area. So let's see. I haven't heard many scores from them. Let me pull up WQSB scoreboard, check some of them real quick. I'm not sure if these have gone final, but I can assume that it looks like Cherokee County CCHS is going to continue to have their great season. They were beating Coosa, Georgia 43-0 in the third quarter. And so I know that was a big one there. Let me just wait and see if we can get some finals on some of those as they come in. Let me see if we can't pull one more up and see if we get anything replying to that. But yeah, a lot of scores. Again, if you're just now joining in, post in the chat what game you were at, and let us know the score there. Talk about the game, say something to us, let us know. Maybe you're just having a good night. We'd love to hear it and see what's going on. Man, it is tough to get some of these scores. I'm impressed with some of these radio shows that do this, week in and week out as they get to do that. Missing some of those scores. I'm trying to find Gunnersville, Madison County. If you know that one, I'd love to know the score of that one as we kind of get some of those coming to a final here for us. Let's see if we got any updates on Twitter right now. Here we go. North Sand Mountain over Cedar Bluff. That was 22-6. That Cherokee County over Coosa, Georgia. That final's 53-0. Again, Sandrock takes down Collinsville 28-7. Ranburn, they beat Woodland 49-6. Lochapoka takes down Talladega County Central. Trying to see if I see any final on those scored. The actual, I think I saw this one. I knew he was having a big game. Randolph beats Westbrook Christian. The Randolph School in Huntsville, they beat Westbrook Christian. They travel down there. They win 35-6. I think their quarterback, we talked about him in the podcast this week in our episode 4 podcast. Their quarterback, Andrew Hunter, I know he was having a big game early in the first half. And so just wanted to see what that final was. But 35-0 is the final. Calera takes down Pale City 56-21. 56-21. Calera takes down Pale City. Let's see who we got here. And just because we are a recruiting thing, I just want to say this. Probably the number one quarterback in high school, Arch Manning. There's some viral video of him, and you just need to just search Arch Manning. But it's just now coming through on Twitter. And look, we talk about mostly kids from Alabama, but we can't ignore a Manning, right? There's a run of his that has gone viral of him just absolutely dragging defenders. Pull that one up. Look it up on your phone. Check out what Arch Manning is doing. Let's see. Anyone else? And I think we are going to call it a night here in just a minute, unless we start getting some other scores or we start getting somebody popping into the chat, want to keep going, tell us about what's going on. But I think we've just about went over all the scores that we know of as we kind of look at everything. But yeah, that was some big wins, some big things going on right now. And we're going to keep if this is something that's popular or gets a lot of views after we end this stream, we're going to keep following that up and keep doing some things with that. But man, um, if you want to, we may try one other thing before we get up. I'm going to post something on Twitter that, look, if you want to join in as a recruit and post your stats, um, let's see what we have. On post on Twitter for some recruits to join in and our post their stat on our live stream. See if we can get anybody to jump in here on this. Here we go. Let's see if anybody hops on this after I posted that up there. So we kind of wait for that to happen. Um, I think this is going to be an interesting season as it begins to shape up. I don't know if in 7A if anybody can take down Thompson. That's kind of been my thing all season long. I think Hewitt Trustful, they lost to them last week, but I still think Hewitt Trustful's one of the top teams in 7A. That's nothing against them. It's just how good Thompson is right now. But I also kind of look at some other things that are going on in the state of Alabama. It just seems to me like a lot of these different classifications are up for grabs this year. There's some teams that are playing well, some that are may not be. But man, it's already coming through on Twitter. Looking at hmm, one thing just kind of caught my eye. Apparently, at Fairfield High School football game, there was uh, the game had to be evacuated. Players, crowd abruptly evacuate Fairfield High School football game. Sure, there'll be no more news come out about that, but prayers up for them. Um, we kind of hope that everything ends well about that. You know, we're going to have Coach Lloyd on the show on our podcast sometime as we start to look up what's happening at Randolph football and going on there. But this is something that we wanted to try this week, and maybe if we begin to do this every week, be consistent with it, people will want to jump on and talk about some of the scores that are happening in the state of Alabama. I didn't get to them all. Maybe it's kind of one of those deals where we had an idea tonight and thought, hey, let's just give it a shot, see what happens. We'll watch the views this week and see what goes on. And hey, we will see and make things better as we continue to do with our podcast. But thank you so much if you've watched. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting high school football. And God bless you.